The wildfire threat to homes is increasing, and San Diego County is no stranger to that kind of devastation. In 2003, wildfires burned down more than 2,400 homes. Just 4 years later, 1,300 homes were destroyed in blazes. Rick Halsey is director of the Chaparral Institute. He's a wildfire ecologist and a former wildland firefighter. He joins me now. Whether a home survives a fire depends on its ignitability. So what makes a home ignitable?
Yard junk, vents that aren't properly constructed. When you think about a firestorm, what happens is basically you have a million, billion killer bees that are on fire, and they get pulled into attics through the vents and those whirlybirds you see on the top of the roof, and they come right out. And so they'll land on the timbers and whatever's in there, and oftentimes what will happen is you'll get this wave of ignitions when a fire hits. And then several hours later, another set of homes will ignite because of the slowly cooking embers that have landed into the house. So it's all about the ignitable pieces in the home. And so when people do the proper maintenance around their homes and prevent stuff from getting in the gutters, that's the kind of thing that saves home. Not going out and clearing the landscape, because essentially what you're going to do when you create a moonscape, which is sometimes what people think about when you hear clearing, they create an alleyway, a bowling alley in a sense, for embers to hit the house.
So just because a home is in the path of a fire doesn't mean it has to get burned down. What makes a home fire safe?
You know, it's a multi-pronged thing. You've got to have that 100-foot defensible space, and it's not a clear defensible space, it's a thin defensible space, which means you're going to create a situation where you still have vegetation, which can act as a heat sink and catch embers. For example, oak trees and that kind of thing are perfect for that kind of thing. Unfortunately, there were people after the '07 fires in my neighborhood. In fact, they've got the notion of clearing, and they cut down 200-year-old oak trees afterwards, when in fact those are the things that could have saved their homes, or probably did at the time. Also, the issue about open windows and access points, the little things like the little weep screens underneath the stucco at the base. We had some homes ignite during the Woods Creek fire because the mulch on the ground ignited, and then the heat got up inside the wall, and some fellow firefighter friends of mine, they drove by a home in Rancho Santa Fe, and they saw that everything was fine, there was no smoke, but the wall was changing color, and they looked at it, they put their hand on it, it was just blasting hot, so the fire had gotten inside of this from the mulch on the ground. So fire will exploit the weakest link, so you have to look at everything.
So are more homes being constructed these days without weak links?
It's getting better, but the one weak link we're missing is zoning and planning. We're still allowing homes to be built in very fire-prone areas. And that's really the one issue that politicians and policymakers are really hesitant to touch, because it impinges on private property rights. And if people want to build in fire zones, that's okay, but they can't expect municipalities, firefighters to put themselves at risk to protect their homes. And so it's a responsibility issue.
But what steps can these people who do live out in the woodlands, who do live out in the foresty areas, do to at least protect their homes? I know that there is not a requirement that they retrofit them to make them more fire safe, but what can they do?
They've got to find out what makes their home fire safe. And the way you look at it is, what do you want to protect? You want to protect your home. So what are you going to do? Are you going to spend lots of money way far away to remove supposedly the fuel, or are you going to look at the thing that's really the biggest fuel source, which is the home? So you start from the house and you move out rather than starting from outside and moving in. There's a lot of homes that had 200-300 feet of defensible space, cleared landscape, that burned to the ground in '07 because they didn't attend to the house. And again, it's about the vents, it's about flammable structures, play yards, junk. People like to stack wood next to their house. A lot of homes got taken out by that. Look at the vegetation, and it isn't just the native stuff, it's the cultivars. In Rancho Bernardo, this acacia that people use a lot for landscaping, especially on the freeways, incredibly flammable. It took out several homes in Rancho Bernardo in the '07 fires, and what they did, they just trimmed it up and planted more of them, because it's not native, so it's not flammable. This is the mindset. So people have to look at the entire equation, not just particulars, but the entire picture.
And Rick, is there only so much people can do? If they are going to live in those areas, isn't fire risk to their home an inevitability?
Well, it's like rain. We put gutters up, and sometimes it floods in our house. It's the same thing with fires. The fire's going to come. We have to accept that responsibility, do what we can, and understand we live in a fire-prone environment and not blame other people when our house burns down.
And we've got to end it there. But Halsey, thanks for coming on the program.
You're welcome.